Greetings. So, welcome back. This is part 2 of manifesting with the tarot. So, part 2, we're going to talk a little bit about incorporating the candle magic aspect. So, what is the candle for? And, like I vaguely described in the beginning of part 1, the introduction, that candles in magic are powerful due to that flame invoking that energy of passion and creativity and desire. It has a effect, I feel like, of kind of enhancing the work that we're doing. And on top of that, the color magic aspect of your candles. Okay. So first we're going to start off with cleansing your candle. That's important. Whenever you're handling candles that have been, handled by so many different people in the stores and, you know, wherever it was manufactured, whoever handled it, especially when you're doing spiritual work, just much like your tarot decks, you want to cleanse your decks before you use them because someone's hands were on them, whether it was the packaging, whether it was whoever's hands were handling them. You want to cleanse that off. You don't know what type of energy or mood they're in. And they're your own, right? They're your own personal thing. So you want to set the energy and the um, intent how you would prefer, right? This is your personal item. So what I'm going to have you guys do before you even get started, you're going to want to cleanse your candle off, maybe wipe it off with some sea salt. You can put it in a bowl, let it sit in some water, maybe put some sea salt in there or a clear quartz in your bowl of water and let your candle sit that way, or in the sink, whatever is most. You want to be careful not to get water inside, especially on the wick of your candle. Then you're going to have to wait for it to dry and all of that because it's not going to spark very well. And if you're using things such as like Florida water, it's flammable, it has fragrances in that. So you don't want that type of issue. So if you're going to use Florida water or some type of cleansing or anointing oil, even, make sure that you do it a certain way where it's not getting inside of the candle, right? So that's number one. Cleanse your and you can also smudge it. That's another way. You can smudge around your candle, make sure the energy is clear. Then, of course, you're going to want to set your intention of what you're doing. So, as you're starting this, I would say anointing and cleansing your candles is everything. Praying over your candles is everything. You may feel guided to use a scripture like a Psalms prayer. Um, I can't remember which Psalms it was that you use for road opening. So, like I said, if you're going to use a road opener candle and let's say like the Wheel of Fortune tarot card, I would probably pray that way. Um, Dressing your candle is optional. You don't have to anoint it. You don't have to, because some people like to put herbs and things to magnify it. You can, that's fine. I think at one point when I was doing this, I had like honey and some rose petals in my candle. It does affect, I will say this, it can, I don't want to say it does every time, but it can affect the way that your candle burns, and it will possibly give you an improper reading as far as like if it's smoke and stuff like that. You'll be like, oh my God, there's obstacles or there's a lot that needs to be cleansed. We'll get into the reading the candle in part 3. But yeah, sometimes it can mess with the burn. So that's optional. So next, before we set our intentions, let's make sure we have a space to set up. So if you have an altar space, preferably that's not cluttered with other things and other intentions, or like altar spaces, or if you have deities or goddesses or gods that you work with, to not leave that in the same space. Maybe putting it on a table or a shelf somewhere safe is key. We want to make sure that we blow our candles out before we leave our home, or if we step out for a second, or try not to fall asleep, or be, if you are going to leave your candles burning overnight, make sure it's somewhere safe. And just that is a safety hazard, just as you know, right? Just as you know. So setting the intention. Prayers are good. Affirmations are good. You want to meditate, you want to sit. And like I always say, when I think of the Magician card, I think of all 4 components of manifesting. So you are the spiritual conduit between the physical and the spiritual realm. Then you have your earth element, which represents the objects that you're using, the physical objects, right? When you see that earth, the pentacles on the table of the magician, you're using physical objects. Now, swords. Swords represent air, could represent our thoughts or our words and affirmations. So, our prayers, mantras, affirmations that we'll recite when we're setting our intentions. Then the cups can represent our emotions. So, invoking the emotion that we wish to feel, feeling that energy within ourselves that we are magnifying out, or what we wish to see, or what we wish to release if we're doing a releasing, like we're working with releasing. Then you have the wands. The wands can represent our passion, our excitement, our desire, our energy that we're putting into the work that we do, right? So you need all four components of manifestation and setting intentions, right? So you can do this daily, as this will be a practice that you're going to have to stay consistent with, right? Um, so each time you light your candle, or if you're someone that trusts your candle burning throughout the 7 days, mine's not. It's a smaller version, but it's very similar. It's just a short version of the I was about to say the seven of wands. The 7 day candles, they're much more taller and sometimes more thicker. So if you trust to burn it straight for those days until it's completely burnt out. We'll get into, like I said, the flames and the reading and the activity throughout the process of working with the candle. And you also want to meditate with your card that you're using, because your card is representing what you're manifesting, what your intentions are, right? The symbolism should, you know, activate something in your subconscious, or your subconscious mind will relate to the symbolisms in the card. And I'm also feel like I'm missing something. I wouldn't use more than one card nor more than one candle. Make it simplistic so we have our focal point of what we're doing, what we're working towards. If you are led to, you could write a sigil or maybe words of affirmations to remind yourself, because you don't want to mess up your card. You don't want to put stuff on your card or write on your card unless you're going to dispose it or maybe use it later for something like this again. But other than that, you could write intentions on your candle as well. Um, keep it simple, keep it light. Okay, keep it simple, keep it light. And yes, that is part 2. Short and sweet. I know. If you guys have any suggestions or any questions, maybe something I might be forgetting. But yeah, for the most part, I feel like that is the entry. Like I said, colors. Before I forget, colors are very important with this, because the colors also speak to the subconscious and provoke a certain energy or emotion. So if you are working with your intuitive self, intuitive mind, or staying focused, or tapping in to yourself, or enhancing your spiritual abilities or gifts, psychic abilities, candles that correspond with the color of psychic energy, I would say, are purples. And I mentioned this in part 1: purple, um, blue, maybe white, um, maybe silver. If you happen to find a silver coated 7 day candle, or just a candle, possibly, or you guys might feel led to buy, because they do have candles that specifically have intentions on them. I know the House of Intuition has a lot of unique candles that they offer, and there's lots of others maybe on Etsy that you can find, or that you resonate with online, Amazon, in your neighborhood, where you can find candles that are connected to certain chakras. So if you're going to do a chakra candle, third eye or crown chakra, um, even throat chakra. Surprisingly, a lot of people don't know that the throat chakra also is connected to our psychic selves. So, blue, purple, violets, white, silver, I feel like those would work very well for that type of intention. So, you're doing, like I mentioned earlier, in part 1, you can use for, let's say, business opportunities, money, fame, fortune, things like that. You can use money candles, road opener candles, um, the color yellow, orange, maybe even together. I think the road opener candles are typically orange, yellow, and green, I think. Maybe a gold candle for if you want attention, recognition, and fame. Yellow and gold work well together. Um, yeah. And then for love, we talked about love. So if you want to manifest a passionate connection, a deep soulmate connection, maybe pink, maybe a pink and blue candle if you can find one that has both colors, red by itself or pink by itself. Also, you can use like those couple candles that are kind of, yeah. Some of you guys, if you like those fancy candles or you like to dress up your own candles, because I also like to do that too. Like if you can find a candle that's safe to dress up, where you could put your own herbs, and some people like to put glitter and, you know, different stuff on it. Um, Cinnamon, you know, maybe to activate for more money magic, or you can use green candles for money, of course, or actual literal candles. But I feel like it's powerful and best to get a plain 7-day candle and just put your own juju in ish, you know, put your own energy. Okay. Put your own shit on it. Okay. Put your own stank on it. Okay. Because it's yours and it's personal to you. You can also use like saints as well. Like you feel like there's a certain goddess or deity that corresponds with the high priestess, or let's say the temperance, maybe you want to work with an archangel, you can get an archangel candle that may um, resonate with that. Some of the nights can correspond with certain saints as well. um, let's say if you want to work with King Solomon, I have gotten a King Solomon candle before. This is just like a little extra. Let's say you want to that tap into that wisdom of King Solomon. I would use the high priestess too, or maybe even the Hierophant, and work with the blue, a purple candle to tap into that type of energy. Now, some people know about the keys of Solomon. There's so much that goes into this, y'all, because when you're manifesting, it's best to do it in an alignment with where you're at with yourself. How do you feel? You know, the times of days working with planetary alignments. Oh, you only burn candles on this day, or when you're doing this type of magic, do it on this type. I believe in that. I trust me, I get it. The planets resonate with us human beings. Our spiritual self is attuned to the stars. So I definitely understand planetary magic, working with the days of the week, the times of the day, the colors, the angels that you use, even down to those fine details. So if I'm gonna do a magic invoke or manifestation work for money or opportunities, I'm most likely gonna do it on a Thursday, which is Jupiter Day. That's the best day to do things like this. If I want to tap into my intuitive self and my psychic abilities, I might do this on a Monday, right? Love, want to love and beauty spells, attraction, glamour, Venus Day, which is Friday. If I want to do a lot of karmic clearing and healing, Saturday, that's Saturn Day. Um, if you're having to petition or to manifest things ruling in your favor, maybe working on a Tuesday, it's Mars Day. Let's see if I'm missing anything else. That's just an example. The best time is when you feel divinely guided to do it. If you feel led to work with different goddesses and deities, they have their own days. Like, let's say Oshun, you want to work with yellow candles, maybe working with her on a Thursday or a Friday, right? Um, you want to work with, let's say, Ōbātala, maybe on a Sunday, working with white candles, um, things like that. So that's just a little side note. If you work with Athena, maybe working with the Justice card for you, right? Justice energy, Venus energy, usually typically Friday, just so on and so forth. You get what I'm going at with this. If you have something with communication that you're trying to manifest, or some sort of correspondence that you want some sort of movement on, or whatever you're trying to intense, whatever you're trying to manifest, or whatever your intention are surrounding communication or correspondences, emails, letters, faxes, text messages, something along the lines of that. Mercury day, Wednesdays, for sure. Blue candles all day. For that, if you want to work with communication work, I would use the pages. Pages, most definitely, depending on what type of correspondence. If it's a job, you're waiting to hear back from a job, maybe the Page of Pentacles, right? Or school, Page of Pentacles. Heavy matters, serious matters or correspondences, Page of Swords. Love, friendship, connections, maybe Page of Cups. Page of Wands, some invitations, exciting news, something around that. You can use a Page of Wands. So we can go all day with this. I feel like from my experience, I can only speak for myself because of the intentions that I had around self work and self love. I easily gravitated towards the Empress card, and I did decorate my space. Like I said, I had flowers and all of that, the shebang, the fruits even that I had. That was very intentional. So for you, make it your own. It's all about the intent. It's all about the energy, the focus, and the discipline as well. Faith without works is dead. So the tarot and the candle itself is just not going to manifest things on its own. It does require works. It does require some divinely inspired action on your behalf. Okay. And focus and intent of, getting things in motion. So that is part 2 of this video. So part 3 will be up next soon, and we're going to talk about the aspects of reading your candle from start to finish, your flame, all of that. We'll get into it. That's going to be the fun part. If you're into candle magic, you're going to like this one. So I appreciate you guys. If you like this video, show some love, some feedback. I would greatly appreciate it. And until the next one, peace.